all you people are whinging about, but I just can't see what the problem is.
But farmers hate you down here.
Farmers hate me down here. Oh, that's the first I've heard.
Bastard.
What do you think of the Minister, the Honourable Covid Keith? Do you think he'll make an issue and make a difference?
We'll wait on the subject.
No, let's put it this way. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get some publicity, and by doing so we're trying to shame the people in Canberra because they won't come here. We are here, so over the next few days and months I will fill in for my colleagues. So I'm going to have some questions.
Thank you, Honourable COVID Chief. We hear a lot about you trying to bypass the Barmer choke. So when you consider that not even God was able to put 50,000 megs a day down our system, what makes you think that you and your department will be able to do so?
Well, I'm not God, but I'm the next best thing. We've got no problems in getting the water down that choke.
So you don't consider the environmental damage you're doing to the Ramsar listed forests along the Murray or the now endangered platypus or the kingfishers? They're not a problem?
I can't see that being an issue.
I suppose with your already well experienced in the mining portfolio, that environment things may not be your strong point. Do you think Environment Minister Susan Ley has actually come and talk to you? Is she being vocal for our regions?
I will have a few words with Susan. She's a very hard worker, you know. She's a very hard worker for people. I will talk to her, but I don't think there's a real issue.
So it's more of the on time and in full as far as you're concerned?
Most definitely, it's got to be on time and in full.
All right, COVID Keith, if you are determined to push on, what are your measures for success? How will you and your Morrison government and the MDBA implementing a $13 billion plan to restore the balance between environment, communities and productive use? What are your measures for success?
Haven't you seen what we've already done?
Well, I've seen the 80,000 animals gone from our regions. I've seen the hundreds of thousands of hectares of on-farm ecosystems wiped out. I've seen our rivers being eroded for a plan to save the Murray. I've seen holistic farmers going to the wall due to corporate agriculture being favoured.
Yes, and we've done all this, and we've got another $4 billion to spend.
I could make some suggestions of what you could do with your $4 billion, COVID Keith, but no doubt you'll have a plan. So, what is the go for the next 12 months?
Well, first of all, I've got to look after my cotton cousins in the north. That's a must, okay? And then on top of that, we've got some very marginal seats in South Australia, so we have to look after those areas. Now, in the middle here, there's a little bit of waving. A few people have got the shits, but look, they'll get over it.
It's interesting you mentioned the lower lake. I was reading a federal government report 2 weeks ago that listed the regattas holding the lower lakes above sea level as important for the regattas in South Australia. If we've got kids here who we want to feed clean green produce rather than imported crap, do you think regattas are a higher priority?
I've been personally invited to those regattas. Yes, I do think so.
Thank you for your time, Honourable Minister.
It's been a pleasure, young man, and it was an absolute credit for you to walk that distance. Thank you.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. COVID Keith. My name is Lloyd. I did walk 303 Ks. I do appreciate the 360 though, that made me sound a bit fitter than I am. Anyway, I was raised at Bullamine on a mixed irrigation farm. It's third generation. For me, it was important growing up in our regions, seeing the holistic nature of what our communities are. And I think it's something that federal and state governments fail to grasp. That community people run the footy clubs, they run the schools, the canteens. It's a whole network of things. They aren't just people in it for their own gain. And we've seen a plan that is meant to restore the balance, basically destroy our on-farm environments. We've seen almost 2,000 kilometres of wildlife corridors in northern Victoria that were once earthen channels being pushed out. In our end of Goulburn Murray water, they didn't even try to save anything. They actually just dozed in everything, every tree, every bush. They drained the fish onto dry paddocks. They ran over turtles with dozers and things. I understand how, things have to change and things always do change, but a plan that is meant to be a holistic, in my opinion, is going completely the other way. For plastic lining, we now see every animal that goes to get water bloody drown. Where the pipelines are in, they can't even get water. So we're moving further away. You can jump online and look at satellite maps from NASA of the greenery across our country. Everything from carbon sequestration to habitats for the feeding grounds for the ibis from rookeries. And then we consider the production point of view. In a country that's variable, annual crops have a very important role to play. When there's water, we grow things, and we grow clean, green produce for our kids and the next generation. Anyway, I think the government and their current trajectory is, 50 years ago you would have called it treason. It's knowingly acting in not the best interest of your country, and that's what we're up against. To be killing the darling, to be killing our regions for no good reason. The plan is not based on best available science. We know it's fundamentally flawed. We have countless reports and tangible evidence that shows otherwise. Anyway, we're going to keep pushing on. The last 2 weeks I've had some amazing contacts from people all over the east coast of Australia, people who are running websites and things to save the darling, and hopefully we can unite everyone. So we are heading out to the darling. We're going to meet with, because this is for all of us, it's not environment versus irrigators. It actually has to become, all of us have to come together if you want to sort this mess out, because the pollies aren't listening and we've just got to keep pushing on. Thank you.
We've got an effigy here for of Keith Pitt that we want to pick into the river and let him have a good look at some of the problems we've got, and hopefully you can put an end to this myth of the great sand slug that's sliding down the river from the gold mines 150 years ago. And we're going to give him the Golden Slug Award for the most inventive and creative line of bullshit we've heard come out of the NBBA yet. But, we've got not yet. Doug Ferry is in charge of the water mob at Cuyuna, and he's the bloke that's been putting a lot of pressure on Pitt to come down, and he's got the honours of launching Minister Pitt effigy. If you want to wander down to the lake and check your cameras up, we'll give him the great farewell. Thanks very much for coming.
No water, no food! 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 See ya, Casey! Throw him in! Throw him over! Throw him in! Here they go! No show Cobra! Bloody good!